Okay, so after having cut up the Napa cabbage, sit here in the bowl, I put the salt in it. So it's sitting there, it's gonna sit there for 2 hours. And then here's the Chinese radish or Korean radish that I chopped up. And I'm gonna do one more, gotta wash these, but I'm gonna do one more set of these. And this will all, as well as carrots, I'll do the carrots next. But I'm cutting this up to go in with the paste that I'm gonna make next. So now I'm cutting my carrots. They're gonna be kind of julienne sliced like this, kind of thin and no bigger than that. Washed them down real good, but I didn't peel them. I want to make sure all the vitamins I've been lacking get in there, so that's what I'm doing right now. So now I just cut up at the shred. These are Brussels sprouts. I did not add these to my kimchi last time I made them, but this time I'm going to add a little bit more of ingredient. And I'm going to add this. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to add it to my Napa cabbage that is sitting in the salt. I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to set this aside, and it's going to go with the rest of the vegetables that I finished up cutting. And just because I want to add a little bit more like vitamins, because I need to eat more veggies, so I'm going to add this to it. Okay, so I changed my mind. I just incorporated the Brussels sprouts in with the rest of my Napa cabbage, added a little bit more salt and mixed it up because, you know, they're kind of stiff, so the salt helps break down the Napa cabbage and make it softer. So I decided to go ahead and put it in. Changed my mind. A woman's prerogative. Okay, so now it's just time to wait. I've got all my vegetables cut up. You can't see the radishes on the bottom. It's covered up by everything. And there's, of course, my lettuce, Napa cabbage, and right here that's ginger. I'm gonna have to cut that up. So now I'm gonna round up all the other things I have to do. What's it called? It's rice flour. Got to do rice flour. And look who's here with me. Say hello, buddy. Hello. Yeah, that was him. He's here to kind of oversee the whole project. Okay, I'm gonna go gather it all. Okay, so now here I have about a quarter of a medium onion, a quarter to more closer to a half of a pear. This is ginger that was about the size of my thumb that I ground down very fine. And this is 8 tablespoons of garlic, which is, you're supposed to have like 8 cloves of garlic, and 1 teaspoon of the chopped is equal to that. And this is gochugaru powder. That right there's the bag. I used 1 cup last time I made kimchi, and it just wasn't spicy enough. So this time I'm going to use, it's not quite 2 cups, but probably 1 3/4 cups. This is fish sauce that goes in here. It's just part of it, and it doesn't make it taste fishy. It helps with the fermentation process, is what I understand. And this is like a gravy I made. It's just 2 cups of water and rice flour. It's like the base of kind of like the sauce. So what I'm going to do now is these here are going to go into the blender, and I'm going to blend them up, and then we're going to mix it all together to make the paste. Okay, so now I've blended together the wet ingredients, and I put it inside the bowl with the gravy, the rice flour gravy, and we're gonna mix this up, and this is gonna become the kimchi paste. And so I've got that in there, and I'm gonna add, these are all the chopped up vegetables. I got the carrots, the onions, and the radish. Now this is my biggest bowl is sitting under there. I gotta buy a new one when I go back to the H Market to get a bigger mixing bowl. So I'm gonna actually have to mix these in 2 separate bowls. So that's that. And now we're gonna add, this is the gochugaru flakes, and then tablespoon fish sauce, and And that's the fish sauce I bought right there. And because I don't have plum extract, which they use as a sweetener, you can put, this is just sweetener, a little packet of sweetener right there. And now I'm gonna mix it all together and set it aside, because once I'm done with this and I've mixed it all together, I have to take this, it's been sitting for 2 hours now. Actually 2 hours, not quite 2 hours, but at the 2 hour mark, I gotta take this out, and it's been sitting in salt. I have to rinse it out 3 or 4 times before I can even mix that together with this that's gonna become the paste. So let me get that all taken care of. So there it is, all mixed up. I'm gonna stick it in the refrigerator because I still need about a half an hour before I'm ready to start rinsing out the cabbage. So I'm gonna set it aside and get that part done first. Now here is my lettuce and Brussels sprout mixture. I've rinsed it out 4 times, drained it really well in this little drainer here. And I'm going to mix it in with, this is the paste from all the vegetables and all the ingredients I showed you. And Buddy is chowing down on one of the pieces of radish with all the spicy mix on it. So he's my first thumbs up, or in this case it would be claw up. Anyway, so I'm going to start mixing these. I need a bigger bowl. Okay, I got this bowl from the Korean store, and it's obviously much bigger, and that's about the size of the mixing bowl that I should have to put all this together. So next time I'm there, I'm gonna pick up one of those mixing bowls. It's all mixed together, and what I'm going to do from here is, this is the fermentation box that I bought at H Market, which is the Korean market, and I'm going to put it in here and push it down, pack it down really good and tight, and I'm going to put a piece of saran wrap over it, and then you take this lid and you're going to push this lid down. It's going to go all the way down until you're kind of pushing it. You're trying to get as much air out of there as possible, because it needs to ferment without the air. The less air, the better fermentation, and the buildup of good bacterias and not bad bacterias. And then this is going to go over the top of this, and I'm going to seal it down, and then it's going to sit on my counter for at least 2 days. So today is Saturday, and I am going to let this thing sit probably till Tuesday night. And then from there, it's going to get transferred into canning jars, and then they'll go in the fridge. So it'll get a good start on the fermentation process while sitting on the counter, and then it'll still ferment while it's in the refrigerator, but it'll go much slower. And what I've discovered is I like kimchi that's closer to fresh than, you know, that's been around for months. It's more sour when it's months and months old. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get that started. So you put this portion in, this is a little like release valve for pressure. You push it in to make sure that it's sealed, and then you just start pushing this down and pushing out any air from around the seals, and it makes a tight lock and keeps all air out, because there's a little gasket all around the edge. And then you put the top on, which locks in. Oops, well, I'm gonna get it on right. And then it's gonna sit right there on my counter for the next all day Saturday, all Sunday. So it's about 2.5 days, almost 3. And when it's all done, we're gonna can it. Okay, we'll wait for 3 days. Okay, now it's Tuesday night. This is what it looks like after, I guess it's been like 3.5 days now since Saturday about 11 o'clock. Now I'm going to transfer all of this into these, and they're going to go into the refrigerator, and it's ready to be eaten. So let me get that transfer started. Okay, here it is, and I'm putting, all I'm doing is I'm transferring into these, and once, it should take probably about 7 or 8 of these, and once you get it all in, you're going to pack it down really good and firm and make it really tight. You have to pack it down and get all the air out, but you don't bother doing it until I get everything in here that needs to go in, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. And there we have it. It came out to 6 jars. I got 1 ball jar, and these are 2 generic ones right here. But 6 jars. It was made out of 1 Napa cabbage, a half a bag of Brussels sprouts, which is new. I didn't add that to the last batch I made. And the very first batch I made, I followed the recipe exactly. The only thing different with this is I added extra carrots and extra green onions, and the Brussels sprouts weren't even in the first batch that I made. And I also used just about 2 cups of the gochugaru flakes to make it spicier. And I've already tasted a little bit of this, and oh yeah, it's spicier. So as it sits and it ferments in the refrigerator now, because that's where it's going, and it'll ferment slower there, it's just gonna get spicier, and the taste is just gonna get better and better. I can't wait. So I mean, this is ready to start eating now. So I'll take one of these jars with me to work tomorrow, probably with some rice. I've been eating it. Oh my gosh, you can put this, like, instead of using what's that stuff called on your hot dog, instead of using relish, I chopped some of this up a while back and used this as a relish on my hot dog, and it was to die for. Anyway, so that's my kimchi recipe, and this is what it looks like. And I've got another Napa cabbage in there and all the other ingredients. This weekend I'm going to make another batch, so there's like an endless supply in the refrigerator. My kids say, oh hell no. So I'll be the one eating this, and that's fine with me. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye.